Okay. Now, no Philly 500. And I got to tell you, that was a pretty good display. And I watched that game. Hey, the only thing that sucked in that game was Tom Brady. Okay, that's the only thing that sucked in that game. I found something finally that Tom Brady sucked at. You know what it is? Broadcasting. Because he was there. I didn't even know what he was talking about half the time. I mean, this dude needs to go back to get roasted or some shit. I don't know, man, because he stunk. You know what's great to say about that, about Tom Brady? Remember something, as a quarterback, I can't say anything negative about the guy. The guy's the greatest player. But when you're in our world now, like Jason Kelce, yeah, you got to pick your game up too, son. I didn't think you were all that hot. You know, hey, you're in our world now. You don't get a hall pass because you're a great center or a great quarterback. All right. I'm sure this guy's got to be just absolutely excited because his boyfriend got a $60 million contract. And here he is now, Mark Holmes, the man, the myth, the legend, the Dallas Cowboy ultimate voice, joins us now. How excited are you that your boy got his money?
Well, before I get to that, two things. One, I'm glad Tom Brady sucks at something. But I guarantee you that the ladies would rather look at him than look at you.
Oh, absolutely. My wife said the same thing, by the way. She's like, I don't care.
I ain't mad at it. I can't compete with that. Hey. The second thing, you just talked about Deshawn Watson, and this really makes a whole lot of sense because I was sitting there like, why are they restructuring his contract? You know, he was a $63 million hit. They already had almost the most amount of cash right there. And so now they're at like $57 million. They literally kicked it off. So it's $73 million fully guaranteed hit next year. And then the year after, you just like light bulb went off. Yeah, they're trying to dump all that. So not only get rid of him, get rid of half his salary from this year. It's the NFL is a cold-hearted bitch.
Remember this too, Mark. If they were to cut him, it's a $178 million hit against the cap on a $265 million cap. So they're not doing that. The only way you can get out from that is if you can void the contract. That's the only way you can get out from that contract is if you have conduct detrimental and it's written in the language. How about this? The first 2 years, the agent put in there that you couldn't be voided of the contract with the current charges they had. But if something came up later in 25, they cut you. 25 is around the corner. And like you said, they lowered the cap, so they were able to move off the guy. I mean, the NFL, help with this one too. One last thing on this, because he was terrible and the Cowboys had a lot to do with that. If he's throwing 4 touchdowns a game, you ain't hearing
nothing.
You ain't hearing shit coming out of Cleveland like that.
Nope, not at all. But he has been, it's going to probably go down as the worst free agent signing in history or, trade in history because it's just been terrible. 15 touchdowns and 11 interceptions in the time he's been there for 2 years. It's atrocious.
Let me get your takeaways on your game against Cleveland and what you thought. Were you surprised?
No. Well, here's the thing. This is what I tell everybody, and you know this. There is no real preseason anymore. The first month, September, is really the preseason. And I tell people, don't get too excited by what you see and don't get too upset because you don't really know what the teams are until October. But the Cowboys at least potentially have answered a lot of questions. And I'll say, since you said the Cowboys are going to be a 5-win team, that means we only need 4 more. And looking at the Giants, I'm going to say that's 2. And looking
I don't believe you're beating New Orleans.
I don't know. Now, see, New Orleans looked good against Carolina, but it's Carolina.
You just got through telling me, but Mark, this is what I say to you. Carolina is not a very good team, right?
Not at all.
Well, most teams in week 1 play down to their competition. They didn't. They crushed them. So they did what they were exactly supposed to do. They almost put a 50 burger on them. So you know what
you're saying.
That's not their problem that Carolina blows.
I'll take Dak Prescott versus Derek Carr every day of the week.
And
now I'm going to say now New Orleans got one of my favorite players down there, DeMario Davis, near and dear, and they just picked up John Ridgeway, of course, from Washington, another guy that I like a lot, one technique guy. So they're buddies of mine, except for this week. They have a really good defense, but I'm not sure that offense is really as great as it is, but we'll find out. as far as being surprised by my team, seeing the people that I've seen in training camp and seeing how fast Overshown is, that guy was lighting things up. And the nice thing is, you always talk about Micah Parsons and he's missing in action and stuff. Moving him around is like night and day difference. If you have him stationary over there coming off the left side every single time, you can scheme against him. But moving him around all over the place, the quarterback's going to come up here now and say, where is Micah? Now I've got to change the protection to stop that guy. And now the Cowboys actually have some linebackers. That defense could actually do some damage. The big thing that I think may go a long way, and this, is that you've got some decent defensive linemen. We've got, I'm not going to say a great defensive lineman, but we've got guys that are pretty good, and we've got some size for once. If they can just hold the line in the middle, the speed that we have with the outside and the linebackers is really going to do damage.
How about this too, Mark? I'll tell you something about Mike Zimmer, and tell me if you agree, because this is what I saw in that game. And for the record, they played better than I thought, especially against a Jim Schwartz defense that was the number one ranked defense in the NFL. And I tell you something else that really popped up was the number 2 and number 3 receivers on that team also stepped up in that football game. But to me, with Mike Zimmer, the thing you notice the most is his scheme. I think he moved those guys around, and I think it's a better scheme than it was with Dan Quinn.
Oh, without a doubt.
Not that Dan Quinn was horrible, but to me, it just looked like his scheme utilized the talent on the team a little better. And Dan Quinn, he is a good coordinator. Again, he's got a Super Bowl ring because he was up in Seattle with Chancellor and them guys. But I don't know. It just looked better with Mike Zimmer, at least at the beginning here, from what I saw against, again, tackles were gone on Cleveland. And I'm not making excuses, because to me, that's a Cleveland issue, not a Dallas issue.
Yeah.
You don't have Chubb. That's not on Dallas. Dallas took care of business. I don't cover teams like that. They
smothered them.
They did. Do you think it's an upgrade?
I think it is. See, here's the thing. I'm not mad at Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn was exactly what the Cowboys needed after 2020. It was horrendous. It was literally
Mike Nolan sucked.
Oh my God. And so Dan Quinn came in there. He's like your friend uncle that's over there. He's taking you out to get he's giving you a beer, or so your parents don't know it and everything else. He's that friend of them, and he got them back on the page, and he took them a good ways. But now it's a matter of honing it and really getting the philosophy together. Dan Quinn, his defensive linemen, he likes guys that are lean, that are tall, and that are fast, that can penetrate, which is great if you're going to be going after the quarterback every time. What you got with Mike Zimmer and his defensive line coach has been great, because Mazi didn't do a whole lot in this game, but I feel like he's going to be better. And don't Jordan Davis. Okay, what did Jordan Davis do? Okay, there you go. So don't shake your head at me. Okay.
Hey, Jordan Davis. I mean, Jalen Carter got double teamed the entire game, and Jordan Davis was single blocked, and he was a no-show. He was 0 for 4 in that game, believe me.
Yeah, but see, all I need is just hold the line, guys. I've got enough speed.
So you signed a fire plug to be just help the run? Is that what that guy is?
Bro,
come on, man. You're expecting more out of that guy than that.
Actually,
I'm expecting more out of Jordan Davis than just sitting there being a fire plug.
If I get more than that, that's fine. But I haven't even gotten that in the past.
Okay.
The Cowboys have not had a great defensive lineman that can hold the line since Jay Ratcliffe in like 2008. We have sucked at the defensive line in the point of attack. We actually had guys that were penetrating and getting, in Deshawn Watson's face, to the point where the defensive ends could go through and eat. And right now, the biggest bargain basement free agent at the moment, and it's only week 1, so things can change. Maybe the Browns are just bad, okay? And that could be the case. But Eric Kendricks looks like he's 5 years younger. 2 sacks, interception, 5 other tackles.
He was all over the field. With this. You're not buying into the Cowboys yet after week 1.
Hey, look, I got a win on the road. We're a team that lost 5 games last year. I'm okay with that. It's a start. I hope they don't start believing in fact, I hope they stay humble and stay hungry, because I feel like this team is actually hungry right now. that they've heard enough shit. And and maybe you can actually find this out from Stephen Jones or not. I feel like when you heard Jerry Jones go off a couple of weeks ago, just before CeeDee Lamb was re-signed, I feel like Jerry took the reins back on this team. When he literally was out there saying, I've been there, I've been the GM, nobody's better at dealing with this shit than me. All of a sudden, the next day, you got CeeDee Lamb's deal done, you got Dak Prescott's deal done, and now we created even another $4.5 million of cap space yesterday.
Let me tell you something.
Things look a little different.
I'm gonna help you out, honey. Let me help you out.
Oh, you're gonna help me out. Thank you, darling.
I'm gonna help you out, honey. Jerry played you guys and everybody in the media like a
That's
fiddle.
what he does.
Okay, this guy went to the 23rd hour. He knew the number he was going to pay CeeDee Lamb, and he gave him the number. He turns around and gives Dak Prescott $60 million. Here's my problem with this, but I will make one comment and ask you a question on this.
Go ahead.
I will definitely make this point to you that he looks better under Mike McCarthy than he did under Kellen Moore.
Oh, without night-and-day difference. That he doesn't get any love and everything else. People will talk about him being a bum and he's getting another big contract. He's getting another big contract because what are you going to replace him with? We heard all the Sajor Sanders. Oh, that's what the Cowboys are doing. Bro quit on his team last week. Now, his dad didn't do him any good by not getting him an offensive line, but looking at that.
I can't stand the kid. I can't stand the kid. He blames
That's not the answer.
That's not the answer.
Look around the NFL. You think Joe Burrow is as good as he was his second year right now?
No.
Justin Herbert is not – I'm not going to say he's elite anymore. He was anointed 3 years ago.
Well, you become elite when you make a 50 spot. I mean, that's when you're –
that's the new 40 now, though, bro.
Do you actually think Dak Prescott's an elite quarterback?
What elite do you think Trevor Lawrence is?
No, I think it's an oversaturated market.
Do you think Jalen Hurts is?
No.
Okay,
wait. Do I think Josh Allen is? Yeah.
Well, Josh Allen has more turnovers than anybody else in the last 5 years.
You know what? Hold on with that. And I love that when people keep bringing that up. And what I decided to do,
he's an incredible weapon, but you got to get to deal with the bad, though, man.
Hold on. Every time somebody brings that up, in 2020, Allen had 45 touchdowns. No, since 2020, Allen has 57 INTs. Check it out, though. Since 2020, 45 total touchdowns, 42 touchdowns in 21, 42 touchdowns in 22, 44 last year. He's got 177 touchdowns, and he's got 4 this year on the year. So he's got 181 in a year, 4 years in a game. And you know what his record is? He's 48-18. So you keep bringing turnovers up. What do they matter if you're winning?
Oh, my God. The Cowboys were winning, and everybody talked about Dak Prescott's turnovers.
He's got nobody.
Okay, and Dak did that year?
So
when we had Noah Brown and one-legged Michael Gallup with CD?
I wish to God that Josh Allen had the shit they have in Philly.
Okay, I hear you. Okay. All right, be that as it may. Can I ask you, I was listening to you about your Eagles. You don't sound like you're buying into the hype.
No. I think that this team has a way to go developing. And I think that, again, just like you, I don't get it, or unlike you, I should say, I don't get ahead of the sticks like you. And you look at the first game, you're like, holy shit, we're like this. We go get a road win. I'm like this. So here, I'll show you the difference between me and you there, sweetheart. Mm-hmm. Give your team a grade against the Cleveland Browns. What do you think they did? What grade would you give the Dallas Cowboys?
I would give them a B+. I think
a B+.
Yeah,
you know what I gave the Eagles?
What?
I gave them a C-. You know why? Wait a minute. No. With that,
Barkley saved your ass.
You know what, though? You know why? Because if that's a B+ effort for you and your Cowboys, there's not a lot of room to grow.
Oh,
see, with the Cleveland, well, hold on. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
With the Philadelphia Eagles, they played a below-average game and beat a playoff team that beat the living fuck out of you last year in the playoffs.
I hear what you're saying, but hold on, though.
Stoned. That game was over in 10 minutes.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at the Green Bay Packers, do we really know what kind of team they are? Because the first half of the season, they weren't very good.
I know.
Yeah, they did. And in one game games, and the Cowboys
Mark,
can't play in playoffs. Yes, we did.
Wait,
yes,
it's one thing
we got
to lose 27-20. It's another thing to get your doorknobs beat in the first 8 minutes of the game, and it's over.
And one team played well and one didn't. Does that mean
played
that
well?
is? Okay. I said, well, they played great. Okay, but look, they got the victory on a game that the Cowboys thought they had in the bag and didn't show up. You had Dan Quinn, who was already checked out, going to Washington, literally playing nickel coverage without any linebackers and a defensive line that stunk.
You're not suggesting that the Cowboys beat a better team than what the Eagles did on Friday night, are you?
Yeah, actually. Well, yeah.
You think Cleveland's better than Green Bay?
Defense, actually, I think well, no.
How can you say that?
They're
They
on the
beat
same
the
level.
shit out of you a month, like the 2 games.
But here's the thing: what was the score in your game? And what did you guys do to the competition?
Green Bay's a good team.
Okay, and what did Green Bay do? Green
Bay played well.
Green Bay should have blown your ass out.
Oh my God! 10 turnovers, 10 penalties.
Hold on, bro.
You're really sitting here telling me you think that Deshawn Watson is a better quarterback?
Okay, here's where I'm going to go with it. Look,
Holy
if Green Bay kicked the field goal to start the game, instead of trying to go for a fourth down.
You spiked the syrup that you were up in Virginia with. There's some sort of
bro. I'm sorry. Your Eagles, listen, congratulations.
Are you really telling me you think the
your
Browns
secondary is not good? Your secondary is not good. Right or wrong?
It's coming along.
Coming along. Okay. How about your linebacking core?
You played against a guy who stinks.
Okay. Yeah, and we did exactly what we were supposed to do.
I saw Jordan Love go like this. Hey, I'm throwing the ball over here, and I'm going to throw for 5 billion yards against the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, I'm going to throw the ball here. Dude, seriously, here were your guys in the first 10 minutes of that game. Dude, don't tell me you think you know better than that. The Browns are not better than the Packers.
I am going to stand by what I said about my Cowboys when you were saying they're going to be a 5-12 team.
I think you're getting beat by New Orleans.
You want to put some money with BetUS on that, bro?
I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry. Wait, but you want to put some money on that?
Hey, I'm putting my reputation on it.
You're shit.
Hey,
hold on. You're going to bet for something that was worth something here.
Hold on for a minute here. Because you know what? Even you, a Mr. Knee Pad Cowboy fan, cannot buy in to the Browns' victory yet. You can't do that.
A win's a win, and I'm going to enjoy myself.
You should, because when the playoffs come, like Philly 500 says, you know where you'll be? You'll be in Cancun.
Okay. We got Philly 500.
Knowing you guys, you'll be in Galveston, like Barkley says. You'll be in Galveston.
Okay. You know, this is the reason why I came and stayed on this channel. Stayed doing this show, because when your Eagles fall and look like shit, and it's coming, bro. It's coming. Okay? Because you've got Kellen Moore. You've got Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore sometimes will make you think, oh, man, this guy's a genius. Other times you're going to be like, what the F is he doing? You're going to find out. You are going to find out. Now,
hey, Ultra Cowboy, let me hook you up on something here. Wait a minute. Where is it here? Mazi, here we go. Let me hook you up here, Samuel. Mazi Smith, his name is Lazy Smith. It's not Mazi Smith.
You can say a lot about
Lazy Smith.
He's not lazy.
He's not lazy. Well, he's something because he sucks.
Okay.
Hey, well, he doesn't. Wait a minute. Has he lived up to a first-round pick?
Not yet, but let's give him more than one game. Has Jordan Davis lived up to a first-round pick that they traded up for? Has he lived up to it?
I hate that. Let me tell you something.
So those who live in glass houses, Dan.
I hate that White Castle lazy SOB has not lived up yet to his potential, Jordan Davis. But I cannot sit here and let you go like, Lazy Smith gets
My
blocked.
guy is just starting his second
I
season.
swear to you, it's like going to a Cowboy game and I see a turnstile. I'm like, well, that's a Mazi Smith. Mazi Smith's a turnstile at the Arlington Stadium.
I'm going to say this much though, okay, and we'll find out if I'm right or not. But I believe that Dan Quinn, because this is actually sad. We ended up drafting John Ridgway, who's a true one technique guy. Guy literally who says, I'm here to crack some skulls. And Dan, because you've been a skull cracker your damn self. Those guys are few and far between. Dan Quinn never liked that guy and got rid of him. They put him on waivers. He ends up getting picked up by Washington and actually plays really, really well for him. Dan Quinn gets hired, and guess what? He got Dan Quinn again. Dan Quinn does not like big, fat guys. He does not like big defensive linemen. And I think it's kind of like that redheaded stepchild. Man, bro, go sweep the garage. You're going to always just get the fuck away from – excuse me. Get away from me. And so I don't know that he was really coached his first year. That's where I'm going to give him this year and see what happens. If he ends up doing nothing this year, then I can go ahead and go on board with, him being like Jordan Davis, worthless.
All right. Couple last ones here. Dak Prescott, $60 million. 80, I guess, signing bonus he's getting. Holy shit, man. I'll tell you this. Let me just make a point to you here. When Jesse James was robbing banks, this guy used a gun and a mask. When he went into banks, he was using a gun and a mask. So this guy here is using his tremendous playoff performances and his postseason performances and going in there without a gun, without a mask, and just putting his head down and getting paid. I mean, when he gets paid every Tuesday in direct deposits from the league,
my God.
This guy puts his head down and goes like this. Thank you very much. He got one hand behind his back, too.
$3+ million every week.
Hey, but wait a minute. So are you happy with the sign? Are Cowboy fans happy with it?
Cowboy fans, we're fickle. Half of them we're getting rid of him. I'll still take Sador Sanders over him. I'll take anybody over. No, that's literally some of the Cowboy fans are just like they're done with Dak Prescott. For me, I look at it this way. The Cowboys right now have $26 million in cap space for this year. They're actually in pretty good shape next year. They have the triggers put in CD Lamb's contract and Dak's. They'll be able to sign Micah Parsons. And if they actually decided they wanted to go out and get a couple of players, they could, because we do have some studs. Now, you might look at it, or people look at it and say, oh my God, you got to pay Dak, you got to pay Micah. Well, if you can get guys that are at least in the tops in their position, of course you got to pay them, because the difference is when people look at the Cowboys and say you don't do a whole lot of free agency, well, we got a CD Lamb in the draft. If you got a CD Lamb in the draft, you don't have to go trade for an AJ Brown. If you get a Micah Parsons, then you don't have to go out and get a Von Miller. So, one thing you have to at least admit, the Cowboys are good at finding talent. You look at this and say,
Mazi Smith's a marshmallow.
Okay, well, we'll see about that. Just give it time. But think about this, though. We lose Deron Bland, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we got Carson, who looks like primetime reincarnated, even has his number. Now, again, it's just the first game. But he was all over Amari Cooper.
Listen,
he's a 5th-round draft pick.
Guy, do me a favor.
As a rookie.
Put up that Abe super chat. I missed it here. So I think it was for Mark and for myself. If you could put that up there, that super chat by Abe. I'll just say this to you, man. I knew you were going to be like this. And I knew you would have your giddiness after beating Cleveland the way you did. But, I mean – Sills, tell Mark Dak never won his first game of the season with Kellen, but Jalen did win with having 3 turnovers. And and they beat a better team than you did this week. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I hear you talking. Okay.
No.
Well, at least my quarterback didn't turn over the ball.
Oh, my God. Your quarterback had 105 yards passing.
Yeah, 180.
Oh, okay.
180. But hey, how about this?
So wait a minute. You paid $60 million for a guy. You paid $60 million for a guy that gave you 180 yards. Holy shit!
He paid $60 million for a guy that got me a victory on the road to start the season.
Oh, now we're talking.
And mind you, over the last 15 years, if it hasn't been the New York Giants, we have not won the season openers. That's a fact.
Man,
We beat the Giants 7 times.
I knew. See his confidence. Look at Mark Holmes' confidence. Look at his. He's even looking more like you feel good about you feel good about your Cowboys, don't you?
Cowboys thing.
Wait, you feel good about your Cowboys.
Lucky to get a win over the Browns.
Hey,
get the fuck
Browns
out
are good. Browns are a good team, but
they had they had the defensive player of the year over there on that side, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
It's amazing how
do against them.
Okay, well, Guyton, he gave up 1 sack. We had 2 rookie offensive linemen started, and they actually played pretty good for rookies starting. You had CeeDee Lamb only there 2 weeks before he even got on the field. So, yes, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
I'll tell you this about Michael Parsons. He's the most overrated football player in the league.
I hear you talking.
Okay, here, wait, hold on for a second. Folks, watch this. Cowboy fans that are in here, watch this. Come October, that gas can will be empty again. And you'll see 1.5, and you'll see 1.5 sacks in the second half of the season. Now, I will say this to you about Mike Zimmer, and I'll give you some kudos here. Zimmer might be able to stretch this guy out a little more where he's impactful in December and January.
Listen, if he continues to use him the way he's using him, where he's not going against a 320 guy every week, tackles, where he's being used sparingly as far as having to be head on head. If he's able to shoot gaps and things like that, he's going to be able to stay fresh. He's just too small to be constantly out there as a defensive end. And that's where, Mike Zimmer is using him all over the place. And here's what is really kind of cool to me is listening to Diggs, who coming back from the ACL, he did get another pick already. As he put it, that was only like 3 of the packages of about 50 that Zimmer has out there for him. So you're going to be looking at a lot of different looks going through the season.
Well, I want to award Mark and his unrealistic Cowboy fans with the ultimate trophy of the September Super Bowl of the year. Congratulations to you. Here it is here. Dallas Cowboys have won the September Vince Lombardi trophy. And for every Cowboy fan out there, those guys will be really enjoying themselves because, boy, I'll tell you, what's crazy is how the media – are the Cowboys for real? Are they for real?
It's too early to tell. It's way too early to tell. Okay, like I said, I'm excited that we got this win.
I'm that way with Philly.
But I got to see more. This is literally preseason. This is literally preseason. So we'll see. Take it 1 week at a time. I'm happy we got one in the tank, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race because Washington looks like Washington. They're going to get their quarterback killed, and the Giants are a freaking mess. So it's you and me, bro.
And Jalen had 13 carries and Barkley had 24.
But you got 38.
You got 38 carries, or 37 carries between those two dudes, man. I mean, I just don't think one of those guys are going to hold up. I mean, one guy's on pace for 400 carries, the other guy's on for 222.
Yeah, good luck.
If they did, hey, get this: if they didn't run the ball, they weren't winning.
Barkley won that game for you. If you did not have Barkley this week, you're not winning that game.
And he was NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, and he deservedly so.
Over Dak, of course.
That's okay. No, here's the thing with that game. It wasn't an incredible game, 4 touchdowns or anything like that, but you were playing on the road, first game of the season, against a good Cleveland Brown defense.
How about this? Hold on here. This Ultra Cowboy fan, he's always giving me shit.
We were at the draft together.
I'm going to tell you something. Ultra Cowboy, here's the score. The Saints. Where's that game? Is it in Arlington?
It's in Dallas, yes. Yeah,
okay.
Arlington, yes.
Okay. Hey, Ultra Cowboy, 27-24, New Orleans Saints win.
It's Derek Carr, man. It's a car crash.
Hold on. Excuse me?
It's Derek Carr. It's a car crash.
You lost last year to who was the quarterback in Arizona?
Oh,
who was that? Joshua? Who was that?
I'm sorry.
Son, Joshua?
Didn't you guys lose to Arizona too?
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Didn't you lose to the Giants too?
Kyler Murray.
The Giants? Are you kidding me? The Giants?
They lost to Kyler Murray. You lost to some stiff.
Oh, and Kyler Murray's not a stiff anymore?
46.1 million reasons people will say no.
Yeah, well, how much is Deshaun Watson getting paid?
You lost to a dude named Joshua Dobbs. Sounds like a law firm dude there in Arizona. Hey, go to Joshua Dobbs. He's a great collision. He's a great collision attorney.
We always have problems with Arizona in Arizona. Going back to Emmitt Smith. I'm just saying.
You're the freaking Cowboys.
There's certain things. There's certain things you can count on in the NFL. That the Cleveland Browns will screw up a quarterback along with the Washington Commanders, that the Giants stink, and the Eagles are a bunch of asshole fans.
You know what makes me here? I got to do this for a second here. Hang on, Mark, before you go.
Oh, I've missed this. You know that?
Wait, Mark, I got to do something here. I got to clean myself up because you know why? I just got to shower up a little bit. You know why?
Oh, Lordy,
I hate the fact you make me defend the fucking Eagles the way I have to here with you. And your bullshit, because, it just seems to me now that I've realized something. I can talk shit on them, and I don't like anybody else talking shit on them. So I don't know. Here, wait a minute. I got to clean.
I tell you what, you better hope they don't drop off the map here. I'm going to be like a pit bull.
I need a Hans device when I talk to you about your Cowboys.
Okay, so is the lawsuit settled now? Because Philly 500 said I was being sued for breach of contract.
Oh, Philly 500. Oh, I don't know where he is, man. I think he got a little nervous in how Jalen played in the open. Okay. I don't know. I think it's something to do with that. All right. Hey, dude, so what are you predicting against the Saints?
I think the Cowboys, I'll say 21-16. I'm 21-17.
21-17 at Arlington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see. I'll see you next week, dude. By the way, tell the folks how they can find you, please.
Unlike Dan, I won't be up underneath the rock. Just look for Cowboy Joe Boo everywhere you go. Joe Boo Sports Report, and that's it. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and right here every Wednesday with Dan.
I knew you were going to be like this. I know. Look, Doc, get your money. CD got his money. Got a huge win.
Yeah, got a win. Everything is
on the road.
Unicorns over here.
He's got his Wheaties box behind him. He had his Wheaties. He's ready to roll for the year.
Emmitt Smith there, buddy.
Emmitt Smith. He's all ready to rock. We'll get Michael. We'll make that thing happen with Michael Irvin too. So I thought
that sounds like a winner.
All right, brother. I'll see you next week, man.
Peace out.
You got it. That is Mark Holmes. Make sure you check him out on his channel. I don't know what it is, but I got to defend the Eagles with this guy. And I knew he was going to be there with this. Did you see that smirky cowboy attitude that he had too? It was like this, look, yeah, we got to win against the Browns. It's all good, and it was on the road. It's good. And, Dak got his 60. The other guy got 30, got $90 million, $100 million, and two dudes. And Mark's like this now. You got the Saints this weekend. Cowboys, 12-win team. All right, whatever, man. Hit the like button. Mike Gullick is right around the corner. We will talk with him. Hey, guys, I don't know what it is, but I had to defend you. I don't believe in the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry. Hey, Ultra Cowboy, you ain't winning against the Saints. You should be expecting more. Okay? You see people, hey, Joe, did you see people in the chat? They were going like this. Is it weird that Sileo's defending the Eagles? It just sounds weird. Wait a minute. What am I hearing here? I know I had to splash water on my face. I'm not. The Canes have been downgraded to a tropical depression. Homeboy, Miami's going to win a national championship. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Sills was like, oh, shit, we beat the Browns. Hey, wait a minute, Ron. He tried to make it sound like the Browns are better than the Packers. They're not. Okay? They're not. Hey, come on, Dick Train. Die you. is back. Nothing but the you. The you. All right. Hit the like button. Appreciate you guys. By the way, guys, give me a heads up. Where are we on the like list as we head into the final hour here? We got Mike Gullick coming up at the bottom of the hour at 5:30. I'll be interested to see what he says about your Birds and also about the Cowboys. I'll be interesting. Yeah, I know. This guy, I knew he would be that way. I need 80 likes. Come on, guys. Hit that like button. I appreciate everybody, even you, Ultra Cowboy. You know I appreciate you being in here. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.